today's video, the most powerful spice in the world when it comes to stopping kidney disease. Taking just 500 milligrams a day for 3 months has been proven to lower proteinuria levels significantly. Here, I've been working with people suffering from kidney disease for more than 10 years now. And today I want to share with you what the most powerful spice on earth is when it comes to protecting the kidneys, decreasing proteinuria, and fighting inflammation. But first, let me ask you a question. What do you think of when you hear the word inflammation? Maybe you think of a swollen ankle after a sprain if you are young, or arthritis if you are a bit older. However, there is a lot more about inflammation than just what's on the surface. Many people with CKD also suffer from chronic inflammation, which is a cause of constant pain. And for them, decreasing inflammation means not just less pain, but also protecting their kidneys. You see, chronic inflammation is a type of low-level, constant inflammation. It can cause damage to your own cells and tissues and lead to various diseases. And while acute inflammation is a normal way of the body of responding to an injury or intruder, chronic inflammation is never good. It can trigger or worsen autoimmune disorders such as rheumatoid arthritis or inflammatory bowel disease. It's bad for the heart and kidneys because it leads to the formation of plaque in the blood vessels. It can even cause or increase proteinuria. Inflammation can even interfere with the action of insulin, and this can lead to insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. Clear that we want to stop this process because it can lead to kidney damage and even heart attacks. And yes, it is proven that finding ways to curb the inflammation in the body can help kidney health. One of the faster ways to fight the inflammation is improving the diet. Eating anti-inflammatory foods such as healthy fats, cruciferous vegetables, and antioxidant-rich fruits can really help. But there is one superfood, a spice, that beats them all when it comes to fighting the inflammation and protecting the kidneys from proteinuria. So what's the best food to reduce chronic inflammation and protect our kidneys? Well, one of the simplest and most effective ways is to eat more natural foods that have anti-inflammatory properties. And this is where our spice comes in. This spice is none other than turmeric, the golden spice that gives curry its color and flavor. And this is almost incredible, but a study showed that consuming 500 milligrams of curcumin, the active ingredient in turmeric, was as effective as taking 50 milligrams of diclofenac, a common arthritis medication, at reducing symptoms of knee osteoarthritis. And similarly, incredible results can be had on proteinuria levels if turmeric is taken in the proper dose. More about this in the next part of the video. And there are many ways you can benefit from adding more turmeric to your diet. But my favorite one is this drink you see here. I love this drink because it's the best way in the world of enhancing the properties of turmeric. Now, the benefits of this drink are powerful. If you drink this milk regularly, you may benefit from its amazing anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, anti-allergic properties, which may really help protecting the kidneys. And most of all, it will help with proteinuria. How is this possible? Well, this is my version of golden milk, and it is made from some of the most powerful anti-inflammatory spices in the world: curcumin, ginger, and black pepper. But why should you use my version of golden milk instead of any of the 1,000 other recipes you may find on the internet? There is one big problem with most golden milk recipes. Almost all recipes you can find for it are full of honey, maple syrup, agave, or some other sugary sweetener. So a lot of sugar, which is basically one of the most inflammatory foods on the planet. Not to mention that if you have diabetes, steering clear of processed sugar should be your top priority. Well, don't worry, I have a better recipe. It's very easy to make actually, and you will find that it tastes just as good, even unsweetened. We just need unsweetened almond milk, 1 cup. I prefer almond milk because it is the most kidney-friendly milk alternative. But if you drink a different type of milk, use that. Let's warm it up. Now in a cup, let's combine 1 teaspoon ground turmeric. This is our main ingredient, but keep in mind that curcumin in turmeric is not very bioavailable. That means it's not easily absorbed by the body. In fact, most of it gets metabolized and excreted before it reaches the bloodstream. So how can you increase its bioavailability? Well, that's what the other ingredients are for. Here we also have 1/4 teaspoon ground ginger. This is another powerful anti-inflammatory super healthy recipe that will work in synergy with turmeric. So think about incorporating these spices into your diet as well. Another spice I will use here is 1/4 teaspoon ground cinnamon. Great for the taste and also very useful for people with diabetes. Cinnamon can improve insulin resistance. And now let's add 1/2 tablespoon coconut oil. This is a great source of healthy fats useful to improve curcumin absorption. Fat can enhance the absorption of curcumin by forming micelles, which are tiny spheres that can transport fat-soluble substances across the intestinal wall. So make sure you always add some fat to your turmeric dishes or supplements. Alright! Now very important, also add 1 pinch ground black pepper. Black pepper is key to make the curcumin in turmeric available to the body. You can change any other ingredient here, but never take turmeric without black pepper. Black pepper contains a compound called piperine, which can inhibit the enzymes that break down curcumin in the gut and liver. This can increase the absorption of curcumin by up to 2000%. Now let's add the milk slowly so it doesn't clump and mix it. Notice that I'm using around 1/2 cup here, but you can experiment and find your preferred amount of milk. Done! Now guys, I have a challenge for you. I challenge you to try turmeric for yourself. Add some turmeric to your food every day for the next 30 days or drink a cup of this before bed and see what happens. See how you feel, how you look, how you think. See if you notice any changes in your kidney health and well-being. And if you do, please share your experience with me and with others. Let's spread the word about the power of turmeric because, as I was saying, especially those with diabetes and proteinuria can get huge benefit from this spice. Question: is eating more turmeric really going to help the kidneys? Yes, because you see, there is more to turmeric than just fighting inflammation. For example, various studies found that turmeric reduced proteinuria, which is the presence of excess protein in the urine. There is a review of studies in particular that I want to show you. This meta-analysis was published in 2022 in the IJKD, a peer-reviewed journal about kidney disease. What you should know about turmeric and kidney disease is that the best results were observed in people with diabetic kidney disease or lupus nephritis. But researchers believe that anyone with kidney disease can benefit from turmeric. More about the dosage they use in a moment. But how does turmeric work? How does it protect the kidneys and fight inflammation? Curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, is a natural antioxidant that can neutralize free radicals, which are harmful molecules that cause damage to cells and tissues. Curcumin can also modulate various signaling pathways that are involved in inflammation. By doing so, curcumin can reduce the production of inflammatory cytokines, which are chemical messengers that trigger inflammation in the body. In other words, curcumin can act as a natural anti-inflammatory drug that can help prevent or treat various diseases that are linked to inflammation, such as arthritis, diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and of course, kidney disease. But curcumin is not only good for your kidneys, it's also good for your brain, your skin, your liver, your eyes, your mood, and your overall health. Curcumin has been shown to improve memory and cognition, protect against skin aging and wrinkles, enhance liver detoxification, prevent cataracts, boost serotonin and dopamine levels, and even increase lifespan. Curcumin has also been shown to help with managing uric acid. High uric acid levels may represent a serious and underestimated issue for people with kidney disease. Kidney problems are often correlated to gout, a painful condition, and the curcumin from turmeric can help. This is why turmeric is not just a spice, it's a superfood that can improve your quality of life in many ways. And there is another reason why turmeric is so good for you. The taste and aroma of turmeric. Turmeric can add a delicious flavor and color to your food, and it can also make you feel good. Turmeric can stimulate the production of endorphins, which are natural painkillers and mood enhancers. So turmeric can not only heal your body, but also your mind and spirit. And I get it that not everyone will like the taste of turmeric. And if this is you, don't worry, you can also supplement turmeric. So question, what dosage turmeric should you take if you decide to supplement it? In the review of studies we saw earlier, various dosages of curcumin were tested and found to be effective, from 60 to 1500 milligrams per day. Keep in mind that these refer to just curcumin, which is only a small part of what's in turmeric. Also, duration of treatment varied greatly, from 15 days to 4 months. So what I would recommend is to start small and then maybe increase the dose. In fact, many studies found now that taking 3,500 milligrams of turmeric capsules, one with each meal, produce significant results already. Very important, don't forget to consult your doctor if you plan on trying turmeric supplements. Keep in mind that turmeric may act as a blood thinner. Avoid it if you have a bleeding disorder. Turmeric may also interact with certain medications, including antidepressants, antibiotics, and antihistamines. And also, I don't recommend taking turmeric at the same time as iron supplements if you take them. Catherine here. I've been working with people suffering from kidney disease for more than 10 years now, and I've always believed that the right diet was extremely important for kidney health. But today, things change. We know now that the right diet can do more than just slow down CKD. It can actually reverse it. This isn't a guess anymore, it's a fact. A recent study conducted on 120 CKD sufferers proved that anyone with CKD can improve once they start to follow the right diet. So it's no longer just a theory that the right diet can actually stop or even reverse advanced stage CKD. It's a proven fact. But even today, kidney disease sufferers have to face so many limitations, to avoid potassium, phosphorus, carbs, protein, that once they start their diet, they end up asking, and now, what do we eat? This is why today I want to share with you what is, in my opinion, the most underrated superfood out there. I'm talking about a cheap, extremely easy to find veggie with some incredible benefits. This food is so high in fiber, it can even help with diabetes. This food also contains resistant starch, which can in turn improve your gut health. And also this food is super rich in antioxidants that are key to protect and improve kidney function. I'm talking about legumes.
What?
Now you may ask, but I thought beans and legumes were forbidden in a renal diet? Well, they actually were for a while because they contain phosphorus and potassium. But a lot changed with the renal diet today, and we found out that some of the foods that once were banned are actually healthy. Legumes are one of the healthiest examples. In fact, today we know that the phosphorus and potassium from plant-based foods, such as legumes, is not really bioavailable. The body only absorbs a tiny amount of these minerals, and this is why today legumes are considered superfoods when it comes to kidney health. But there are also a few reasons why you want to still limit legumes in your diet, so please watch the whole video and consult your doctor before making any changes to your diet. And I have a question for you guys. Do you have legumes in your diet? Which one do you prefer? Let's talk about it in comment section. Question: can you really lower your creatinine levels by eating more legumes? There are 4 reasons why legumes are considered superfoods when it comes to kidney health. First of all, they are high in resistant starch. This is a type of fiber that resists digestion in the small intestine and reaches the large intestine. Here, this fiber turns into food for the beneficial bacteria that live in our gut. Now, if you follow me here regularly, you probably already know that gut health is key for kidney health. Many studies have directly linked better gut health to better kidney health. The bacteria in our intestine can remove some of the scores the kidneys should remove, and this protects the kidneys. Second reason, beans and legumes are high in antioxidants, which can help protect your kidneys from oxidative stress. Keep in mind that oxidative stress is the powerful cause of kidney damage. And beans and legumes contain various antioxidants such as polyphenols, flavonoids, anthocyanins, carotenoids, vitamin C, vitamin E, selenium, zinc, and manganese. These antioxidants can help scavenge free radicals, the cause of oxidative stress, and repair cellular damage. Third, beans and legumes are high in fiber, which can help control your blood sugar levels, a must for those with diabetes. Beans and legumes have a low glycemic index, which means they do not cause a rapid spike in blood sugar after a meal. Instead, they release sugar slowly into the bloodstream, keeping your blood sugar stable and helping with insulin resistance. Fourth, beans are also very rich in iron that you can make bioavailable by adding a source of vitamin C. And this is more important than most people realize. You see, anemia in those with kidney disease is way more common than you may think, and finding foods that can help, such as legumes, is key to protect your kidneys from it. So yeah, I believe that having more legumes in your diet could make a big positive difference. Now, as I was saying, legumes are not something you want to eat with abundance. Legumes should be present in moderation in a renal diet. Actually, there is one legume that you can enjoy without any limit. We will see which one in a moment. Before that, a question. Who should limit legumes and why? There are a few reasons why you may want to limit your legumes intake. First of all, because you want your diet to be as varied as possible. Second, the potassium content. Now, this is not something most people here should be worried about because you see, studies confirm that it's not diet that causes high potassium in those with CKD. If you have been told to limit potassium intake, you should talk to your doctor about changing your antihypertensive medications. Avoiding beans won't help at all. And what about phosphorus? Should you limit legumes intake to limit phosphorus? Now, phosphorus is a bit trickier because you see, everyone with CKD should be limiting their phosphorus intake. Phosphorus has been found to actually damage the kidneys unlike potassium, but it's also true that the phosphorus from plant-based foods is not well absorbed by the body. In fact, I always tell you guys to only worry about phosphorus from meat, fish, dairy, and preservatives in packaged foods. The small amount of phosphorus you will get from eating some legumes is totally worth the health benefits these foods provide. And what about protein? For protein, we can make a similar argument to that of phosphorus. Protein and phosphorus intake should always be monitored and kept in the right range for people with CKD. But you must have some protein, and beans and legumes are one of the healthiest sources of protein you can find because they're vegetables. So, they will also give you a lot of fiber, vitamins, healthy minerals, and more. When it comes to phosphorus and protein, make sure you are in the right range in that you are getting your phosphorus and protein from healthy foods. Speaking of which, what legumes are the healthiest and why? One of my favorites is chickpeas. Also known as garbanzo beans, chickpeas are a great source of fiber and a staple in many cuisines. They are used to make hummus, a super tasty and healthy spread. This superfood is especially good for those with diabetes. Hummus was studied in particular because it's a source of carbs that do not compromise insulin levels. Another super healthy legume, black beans. Black beans are super tasty and lower in phosphorus compared to other beans. Like many other beans, black beans are a great source of fiber and folate. Folate is key for kidney health. Being deficient in this vitamin makes kidney disease progress faster, especially in those taking blood pressure medications. Black beans have also been studied because the fiber they pack seems to be key to increase a cluster of bacteria in the gut that may result in improved insulin sensitivity. But gut health is also key for kidney health. So also consider soybeans. Soybeans are commonly consumed in Asia in several different forms, including tofu. While they have many of the health benefits of other legumes, there is one reason why soybeans may be particularly great in a renal diet. They are one of the only plant-based sources of protein that is also of high biological value, which means they have all the essential amino acids in them. A patient who is strictly limiting their protein intake may highly benefit from getting a little bit of protein from this food. And yes, all these legumes are also rich in protein, so moderation is key when adding beans and legumes to your diet. But there is one type of beans you can actually eat without worries. Green beans, also called string beans, these legumes are way lower in protein and calories compared to any other legumes. Also called string beans, these legumes are way lower in protein and calories compared to any other legume, which means you can eat them a lot more often. And they share many of the benefits of other legumes. They are rich in fiber and vitamins. Whether you blanch them, saute them, or eat them drained from a can, green beans are a very healthy addition to your diet. Now guys, there is one more argument to be made against legumes consumption, which is oxalate content. But I don't think this should really matter unless you are part of a small group of people that is actually sensitive to oxalate. If you want to know more about who should avoid oxalate and who shouldn't, my video here is for you. In this video, why eating some high oxalate foods is a must if you want to lower your creatinine levels. We are going to unveil one of the biggest lies about the correct way of eating for people with renal problems. Many of you have been told to avoid foods that are high in oxalate because they are bad for the precious filters of the body. And that's just plainly wrong. Science is very clear on this. You need more fruit and vegetables if you want to stop the decline of GFR. Now, if you have been following a wrong way of eating until now, don't worry, we can still undo some of the damage and we can still improve your diet. And as a plus, you will be able to enjoy many tasty foods again, knowing that they are good for you. Now guys, as usual, please consult your nephrologist before making any significant change to the way you eat. And also watch this whole video because there are certain people, albeit a small number, that are actually very sensitive to oxalate. They should not eat high oxalate foods without also following the simple tricks I will share with you in this video. We will see who should be careful with oxalate in a moment. Before that, a very important question. Why is oxalate supposed to be dangerous for you? Oxalates, also known as oxalic acid, are naturally occurring plant compounds. Some people call them anti-nutrients, but they are not as bad as they want you to believe. We eat oxalate in food basically every day. And also very important, our bodies do make oxalate. There are also vitamins that create oxalate and vitamins that help getting rid of them. Now, and this is crucial to understand why avoiding high oxalate foods is not the right strategy for most people. The thing about oxalate is that this compound is not stable on its own in the body. Once in the body, oxalate will want to bind to minerals before it's excreted. That's what makes it an anti-nutrient. Calcium and iron are the most common mineral it will bind to. This mostly occurs in the colon, but in some cases, this reaction can also take place in the urinary tract. Now, most people will just eliminate oxalate compounds in the stool or urine without even knowing that it's happening. Again, this is an everyday occurrence. It happens to everyone. However, in sensitive individuals, high oxalate diets have been linked to an increased risk of calcium oxalate stones and other issues. And like it happened for many other nutrients in the past, experts have rapidly started telling everyone to just avoid foods high in oxalate.
What?
And that's just plainly wrong. What most experts don't know is that about half of the oxalate found in urine is produced by the body rather than absorbed from food. And guys, there's a reason why I tell you not to avoid high oxalate foods unless you really have to. Let's see it. This is a large study focused on stopping and reversing the progression of kidney function decline through the correct way of eating. This study saw people in stage 4 completely stopping the progression of GFR decline. Some even reversed advanced stages CRF, all thanks to a way of eating that was richer in fruit and vegetables. And researchers made sure not to discriminate among vegetables. There were no forbidden fruits here. So despite what some experts say, eating more fruits and vegetables, even those rich in oxalate, may directly lead to a better GFR. The reason why will become clearer when we take a look at what foods are actually the highest in oxalate. Spinach is always on top of the list when it comes to oxalate. But the thing about spinach is that this really is a superfood. Spinach is so alkaline it directly protects the precious filters of the body by reducing the acid load. And also, beets. Despite being fairly high in oxalate, beets have been directly linked to a better GFR. They are also rich in nitric oxide. They may even fight hypertension. Consuming beets regularly means that the artery walls are going to be less stiff, says science. And also, almonds. Almonds are so rich in magnesium that restricting them is definitely a mistake. And magnesium is a common deficiency in those with CRF that can cause hypertension and inflammation. You really want as many magnesium-rich foods as you can if you want to improve your GFR. Another food rich in oxalate is rhubarb. Despite being one of the highest foods in oxalate, rhubarb is also a nutrient powerhouse. It's rich in many vitamins and fiber and contains compounds that are known to fight inflammation. Now, as we can see, most foods with oxalates are really good for the precious filters of the body. Some proponents of the low oxalate diet say people are better off not consuming foods rich in oxalates, but it's clear looking at this list that they are wrong. Many of these foods are the best sources of important antioxidants, fiber, and other nutrients. You are not going to improve if you remove all these foods. And we should also consider that the body produces more oxalate than it gets from foods. However, as I was saying, there are people who are especially sensitive to oxalate. So let's see, who is supposed to actually limit oxalate intake? First of all, people prone to calcium oxalate stones. If you had stones in the past, you are more likely to get them again. And if they are calcium oxalate stones, the most common type, limiting oxalate will be a good strategy. However, there are also other strategies that work and that don't require limiting foods high in oxalate. We will see how to do that in a moment. And also, people who have had gastric bypass surgery or surgeries that affect how the gut works may also have high oxalate levels in their urine. So if you have gut dysfunction or take antibiotics, you may want to avoid high oxalate foods. Now also, those that have to limit their water intake due to the stage of CRF they are in may be recommended to follow a low oxalate diet. You see, water is a way for the body to get rid of excess oxalate before it can do any damage. Reducing water intake puts you more at risk, but for most people, the benefits of nutrient-dense high oxalate foods far outweigh their risks. Therefore, it's not a good idea for most people to completely stop eating high oxalate foods. Today, most urologists only give a strict low oxalate way of eating to people who have high levels of oxalate in their urine. It's important to be tested from time to time to figure out if a restriction is needed. So if you are not sure about restricting these foods, get tested. Okay, this is going to be very interesting for those that want to keep eating spinach and beets despite those experts unfairly demonizing these foods. Now I bet many of you already heard about the popular antacid Tums. They are sometimes recommended for people with CRF because they are made of calcium carbonate. Taking them with meals may be helpful because calcium carbonate sticks to the phosphorus in the foods you eat. The phosphorus is then removed through the bowel, effectively stopping your body from taking extra phosphorus in. But there is more. Calcium also binds to oxalate, as we have seen. Very important, having a meal rich in calcium means calcium and oxalate can bind in the intestines, which is what we want. On the other hand, when there is not much calcium in your meals, your body is forced to bind calcium and oxalate in the urinary tract. This may put you at risk for calcium stones. So whenever you eat foods such as spinach, rhubarb, beets, legumes, and nuts, consider adding a source of calcium. And while there are just a few foods naturally rich in calcium that are good for a renal diet, including bok choy and broccoli, taking a calcium supplement or a TUM may also help. What's more, you don't need to buy the brand name Tums. Food-grade calcium carbonate is also sold in powder or pills and costs pennies. As usual, you should discuss the correct dose and safety with your nephrologist. Calcium carbonate is, however, very safe. Another thing you want to consider is water. It has been observed that those with a lower water intake are more at risk for calcium stones. Always drink plenty of water. Aim for a minimum of 2 liters daily. If you have had calcium stones in the past, drink enough to produce at least 2.5 liters of urine a day. Now guys, I hope this clarifies how to avoid the dangers linked to oxalate without renouncing too many superfoods. If you still have doubts, feel free to ask in comment section. And if you want to see more about the way of eating that really help restoring the precious fillers of the body, this video up here is for you. And this is all for today. Thank you for watching.